made it to whatever week this is, Doc.
Week something, but we here.
Hey, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about we here. It is by the grace of God.
Listen, but
every week.
But God.
But God, week six, but God. Can I just tell y'all, listen, I know this is not how we normally start the show. This is 2 hours of sleep.
Listen.
As I was being a supportive, amazing mother today of a child who participated in a spelling bee come through.
Yes!
Which was 3 hours away. Amen.
Amen. But you did it.
But hey.
How'd she do?
She did well. There were about 30 kids or so.
Okay.
And she made it all the way down to like number 6.
What?
Come through, 5th grader. Come through. So
yes, 5th grade.
5th grade. It is by the grace of God.
That is so awesome.
We are here, but we are here.
We're here.
Week 6. Doing the Doctorate podcast.
We're doing it.
Hey, y'all. Welcome. We are excited to be here. I am Dr. Kesslyn, President, CEO, mover, changer of the PhD Consultants. And what I do is help doctoral folk get in, through, and out of doc programs. So I am totally excited to be here. Educator, doctoral coach, author, speaker, founder of the PhD Consultants, an amazing mom of a spelling bee.
Yes!
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! But y'all know I don't do it by myself. I am so thankful to be here with my girl, Sister Doc. She is an early childhood educator, a mompreneur, founder of STEM Early LLC, and show-stopping co-host of the Doing the Doctorate podcast. Let's say A-O to Dr. O. Hey! Oh, with the coolest name. Hey! Oh, what's up, O? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm here. I've had a little bit more than 2 hours of sleep.
Congratulations.
I'm here. I'm actually rested. So bless the Lord for that. So I'm here.
Wait again. It sounds like music to my ears.
I'm rested. I took your advice. You said to get rest. And I found that when I took a nap, I got so much more writing done. And it was quality writing. So I took your advice from last week and I said, you know what, before I go write, I'm going to rest, because I didn't have a good night's sleep the night before. I think it was like Thursday night. I didn't have a good night's sleep. So Friday night, I was like, when I have to write, I'm going to stop. I'm going to take a nap.
Yes.
And then I got up and I wrote, and it was great. And I wanted to write some more because I felt like I had more energy, and it was like 11:30 at night. But I felt the Spirit say, no, go to sleep, get up on Saturday and write some more. And I did. And, you know, the editor hit me back on this morning, Sunday morning. And she said, what you wrote over the weekend was really good.
Wow.
I was like, so this advice really works. So I do feel rested, and I'm excited. Awesome. With I got my notebook.
Okay, come on.
I'm ready for what you're dropping, because what you drop on this podcast is so invaluable. People are paying hundreds and thousands of dollars for the advice that you're giving. So I'm like, I'm here to sit at the table. I'm here to implement and let you know, like, I tried this, and oh my God, it really worked.
I'm so glad. I truly am glad. I truly am glad. It is, you know, I was telling someone today, well, let's do our thought.
Okay.
And then we'll talk.
Okay.
This week's thought is in honor of a legend. We're talking about being legends, right? Leaving a legacy, being legends and leaving a legacy. And so this week's thought is in honor of Harry Belafonte, who passed this week. Come on, legend. He is a legend. And he said, what did he say?
You got your quote, my activism.
Listen, no,
I got it right here.
Lord, hit me up.
It says, my activism always existed. My art gave me the platform to do something about the activism.
Yeah.
You sent me that quote, and I was like, ooh, that's a winner.
Yeah.
That's a winner.
He said, my activism always existed. Thanks. Oh, my activism always existed. My art gave me the platform to do something about the activism. And that struck me. It struck me because I, I don't I am, I guess, an artist in some regard. I'm a musician. Well,
You
I'm
are. You are a musician. Just say it.
okay.
You are.
Okay. I'm a musician. But I thought about this in terms of my research, right? Because I view research as one way of doing activism. And the reality is, I've always been a researcher. I didn't think of myself as a researcher. I thought of myself as an inquisitive young lady. I've always asked questions, always. And it says my activism has always existed. My research
Yes.
gave me the platform to do something about the activism.
I love it.
My research,
Your
my
research.
doctoral work gave me the platform to do something about the activism. So I've always been a questioner. I've always, people say, I hate research. And I'm like, no, you really don't.
Because
If
you
you
ask
like
all the
asking
questions.
questions, you like
That
research,
part. That part.
right? Your research, your doctoral research gives you the platform to do something about your activism. And that's like that. It just struck me. It struck me. I'm thankful that Harry Belafonte was talking about his art. I guess to some degree, our research is art, right?
It isn't art. It
It
isn't
is an art. We get to create and find truth. Anyway, those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Oh,
I
talk to
think
me.
when you sent me the quote, I did a little bit more research. I started questioning, like I knew of his activism, but I didn't know how deep his activism
Mm,
went. And I
mm,
think, oh yes, Vernita Thomas says activism is also our calling. It is our calling, and for Harry Belafonte, he used his art for his activism. It was like, this is the platform that I've been given, so I'm not just going to use this platform to show forth my voice
yes.
and my acting ability and then keep my opinions to myself on how
Yes.
to change the world. No, and to the point where he was willing to lose dollars, to lose,
And did.
and did,
And
to lose
did.
clients, to lose friends, to
Yep.
lose relationships. I mean, he said in one hotel, he was really instrumental in the desegregation of hotels. And he said, if I can't swim in this pool, if I can't come in this front door, and if
Come
I
on.
can't interact with the clientele, I'm canceling my show. And some of the hotels were like, fine, cancel. And then
Which meant he lost
he
money.
lost money. He did this one tour where he was singing with, I can't remember the singer, but she was a white lady. And they did this thing and they had a whole sponsorship, right? And during the song, when they were singing, the white singer touched his hand. So the
Mm,
sponsor said,
mm,
we need to edit that out
mm,
or we broadcast it,
mm,
or else we're not broadcasting. And
mm.
he and his team were like, we're absolutely not editing this out. And so guess what? The sponsors pulled the whole tour, pulled the whole show.
Mercy.
So he was willing to take us, like, think about it.
Yeah.
Like with your research, if someone says, well, we will fund you for this project, but you got to take out the part about transgender equality. You got to
Mm.
take out the part
Come on,
about,
you stepping on toes
you know
now.
what I mean? You got to take
Come
out
on.
that part, or
You stepping on toes, Doc. You
I'm
step.
just saying, like,
Come on. Come
would
on.
you be willing to say, well, no, because this is a integral part of the research that I need to do? Like,
Right.
what would you be willing to do? And so, in order to leave a legendary legacy, we have to stand up for our activism and not back down. And that may mean we're gonna lose some things. And are we willing?
Can I just put a plug in here? It may actually mean, it may mean that you have to I'm gonna say it, and I'm just gonna say it.
Who?
It may mean that you have to say to your committee, if you're a doctoral scholar, I feel really passionate about this research topic.
Mhm.
And so I appreciate your feedback, and I'd love to incorporate some of it. I'm really passionate about this topic.
Yeah. Yeah. That takes courage.
It takes courage. It takes courage. A
Yeah.
lots of courage.
A whole lot.
Yeah. Activism means that you have to be willing to risk, weigh the cost
Mm.
and risk the cost. Risk losing. That's what Belafonte did, right?
Yeah.
He was willing to say, you know what? If this doesn't happen, then I, I'm not down.
I'm not down. I'm
Yeah.
like I was just imagining the list of sponsorships,
Mm,
money, because this was his livelihood.
yeah.
Sometimes we you know, we don't think of how practical this is for people. We think about people like Martin Luther King and Harry Belafonte, and we kind of put them in these categories as superhuman. They have families,
Absolutely. Oof.
right? They have now think about this. Like for you to say no, I know this means I'm going to lose a $600,000 seed grant or
Eesh.
a $3 million
Mm.
MHTTC mental
Or an
health
endorsement for
or
those of you who are
endorsement.
in that world. Yep.
But I feel very passionate about this, and I can't back down.
Yeah. Oof. Oof. Absolutely. What it means, activism. Wow. Activism is an act of faith.
And ooh, writing that down.
Activism is an act of faith. Weighing the cost and still making the choice. I was doing a session a few weeks ago with some doctoral scholars with one of my mentors, Dr. Edith Clay Fraser, and she said they were talking about using their voice for activism and advocacy, and she said you have to weigh the costs. It's going to cost you something. It may cost you a job. It may cost you a grant. It may cost you some comforts, some creature comforts. You must weigh the cost. But if your voice is needed, then it's needed. I mean, there's a way, there's a certain it's a skill set, right? Activism requires a skill set, but it's going to cost you something. He said, my activism always existed. My art gave me the platform to do something about the activism. Our research is the doctoral degree is the platform to do something about the activism.
It is absolutely if you can put back up, Dr. Thomas, put that back up on the screen because I need to read what she just said. She said,
It's a lot.
sacrifice is a must. Courage is like breathing when we are divinely assigned to a
My.
principle that will change humankind. She said she
Yeah.
left a very well paying position. Here's why she left. She said, because my truth can't be
Can't.
purchased.
Come on. Wait,
Listen,
what did I just post? I just posted something similar on Saturday.
I felt
look.
that
Let me
thing.
find my post. My post basically said, "Peace." Let me find
No,
it.
find it. Find
Let me
it.
find it
I
because
mean,
I
tweet
want to.
that. Somebody needs to tweet that.
Yeah, tweet
Dr.
that.
Thomas, she said, my truth can't be purchased. Listen, you
I'm
want your
not a doctor yet. Yet.
yet.
Yes.
So I'm
Yet.
just gonna call you Dr. Thomas.
Come
Because
on.
listen, woo!
This is what I posted on the weekend. I usually post a reflective thought on
Mhm,
Saturday, right?
mhm.
It says, while peace is extremely valuable and cannot be bought or sold, it is often traded for things far less precious. Come on. Truth, peace. While peace is extremely valuable, or truth is extremely valuable and cannot be bought or sold, it is often traded for things far less precious. And sister almost going to be, Dr. Thomas said, I'm not
No,
willing to trade that.
I'm not doing that.
Some things I'm just not willing to
I'm not
trade.
doing. And you know what? She also said something. It's going to change humankind. I got to tweet that whole thing. She said, "You're divinely assigned to something that's going to change humankind." And Harry Belafonte was on assignment along with Martin
Absolutely.
Luther King and everyone else in the civil rights movement that changed. the way we operate in American society, and not just America, because he was an advocate in the world,
Absolutely.
So
Internationally known.
international. So now, I swim in a swimming pool with everybody. That's not
Mm,
even a thing, right?
mm,
I walk in the front door with everybody because he was on a divine assignment. And think about if he would have compromised and said, well, because this is so and so, and I'm sure he was in the millions of dollars, right?
mhm,
This is $3.5 million. So I'm just gonna play here, even though
mm,
they say I can't swim in the pool. I'll
mm.
just swim in another pool, and we make excuses as to why we sell ourselves out for things far less valuable
Mercy.
than peace.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. 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 Just powerful. I really appreciate the legacy, the legend, Harry Belafonte, and the legacy that he left for us. We're talking about legacy tonight.
Yeah.
Legacy. And we're connecting research, doctoral studies with legacy. Legacy. We'll come back to that. Let's talk about who's in the house. The doctoral roll call.
Welcome.
Who's here? Who's here?
Welcome.
Who's with us tonight?
You got the
If you
picture.
are a doctor, we love to give shout outs to the doctors who are in the room because we understand that representation matters. So if you are a doctor and you are studying or you have a degree in whatever the doctoral degree is, please let us know because other folk need to know, hey, you can get a doctorate in that. You absolutely can. So we want to shout you out in our doctoral roll call session. If you are a doctor and you're watching, just type it in the responses. We want to see who you are. And if you know a doctor,
Yes.
tag them. Say, you need to be here tonight. The doctors are talking about legacy. All right. If you have a doctorate, a PhD in social work. All right, Dr. Jones. All right, Dr. Jones. Doc, I don't know if we ever have I asked you what your doctorate is in. I mean, I know, but for the people, tell the people what your doctorate is in.
Let's put it out there. He gonna put it out there.
Oh, you.
I have a PhD in educational leadership for changing populations.
Come on,
So,
educational leadership. I have a PhD in social work. So we are making our rounds, doing what we need to do. So listen, make sure you share this,
yes.
tag a doctor, tell them to come on, join us. We're here every Sunday at 8 o'clock. So that's our doctoral roll call. Let's go to doctor's orders. Doctor's orders.
Mm.
In our doctor's orders segment, because unless we want to talk about any current events we want to talk about,
No.
let's go to doctor's orders. Doctor's orders. It is so critically important that I use this space to impact, make a difference. Hey, all right. PhD student at Antioch University. Wonderful. Change management. Well, you know, I love that word change.
Yes.
Hey. Oh,
That's
I
awesome.
forgot. I forgot. I didn't do our doctors on duty. Before we go to doctor's orders, I forgot I didn't do our
Yeah, you
doctor
gotta
on
shout
duty.
out the doctor on duty.
Yeah, we got to shout out to our doctor on duty. So, in our doctor on duty segment, what we try to do is shout out a doctor, contemporary doctor, who is making a difference in the world, right? Our whole platform is you've been called to make a difference in the world, a dynamic doctoral difference in the world. So, during our doctors on duty segment, we try to shout out a doctor who is making a dynamic difference in the world. And so tonight, we want to shout out a doctor who is making a difference in the world of finance. Dr. Boyce Watkins. I don't know if you all know Dr. Boyce Watkins. I don't know if you follow him. If you don't, you should. He is trying to ensure that we all have some financial literacy going on. He is doing some absolutely amazing work. But let me tell you a bit about Dr. Boyce Watkins. Dr. Boyce Watkins. Dr. Watkins
Mhm.
was born. Listen, if you ever think your birth situation determines your destiny, Dr.
Come on,
Boyce Watkins is a
come on.
testament to the fact that that's not the case. He was born to a teenage mom,
Mm,
right? He was adopted by his um, mother's husband at the age of 3, and he discusses his mother's, or describes his mother's husband, his father, as
mm,
a stern man. He was a
mm,
stern man. He ain't take no stuff. Oh, he was stern.
mm,
He was serious about what he said. But he also talked about his upbringing, being challenging educationally. In
mhm,
fact, one article that I read let me know that Dr. Boyce was placed in special education classes, and I'll tell you that that really struck me because it reminded me of my own learning challenges growing up.
mm.
I don't know if I ever shared that with you, oh, that I had some learning challenges. I had reading comprehension challenges
Mm.
and had speech challenges.
Wow.
Believe it or not, now I talk all the time.
Look at God.
I tell people I get paid to speak now, but I have reading comprehension challenges, so I was put in some special classes and got some special supports to help me. But I'm in good company because Dr. Boyce Watkins was also in some special classes, and he said he almost lost the future that God had in store for me. That's what he said.
Mm,
Um, Similarly to his mother, he became a teenage father, but he said becoming a teenage father was what really shifted the trajectory of his life. And he
mm,
got serious at that point. He became a scholar in college. He went on to graduate school and became an advocate. He in graduate school he was involved with political activism. He said the racist language used in his campus newspaper led him to become a writing columnist, and he even taught. This is activism at its best. He called out the university president at
yeah.
the time,
Right,
saying,
right, right.
this here, unacceptable. Continued his activism through his doctoral program at the Ohio State University, graduated with a PhD in 2002, and has been very committed to doing the work. And today, Dr. Boyce Watkins is known as an American author, political analyst, social influencer, and ex-academic. In addition to publishing scholarly articles, last week we talked about just write.
Mhm.
He's doing the writing. In addition to writing scholarly articles on finance and investing, he also is a blogger, a podcaster, an advocate for education, economic empowerment, and social justice. He's been on CNN, Good Morning
Mm,
America, MSNBC, Fox News, BET, NPR, Accents, USA Today, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on. And if we talk about activism and don't talk about the work of Dr. Boyce
mm.
Watkins, we have done a disservice. Why? Because he did that. Oh,
He did that.
he did that. Dr. Boyce Watkins, we shout you out because
You are
you are a doctor who is on
on
duty doing
duty.
the work. And so we honor you tonight. We say thank you
Thank
for
you.
the amazing work that you do. For those of you who are watching the show or listening to the show, if you have a doctor that you want us to shout out, a doctor who's doing some amazing work in the community, please email me, follow me, message me. Dr. Kesslyn, all things. Dr. Kesslyn, email at the PhD consultants. We would love to hear about doctors who are making a dynamic difference in the world. So, Dr. Boyce Watkins, we honor you. Oh, have you ever heard of Dr. Watkins?
I have heard of him, but I need to follow him.
You need
I
to
need to actually
follow
follow him because some of the stuff
him.
you mentioned, I was like, oh, I didn't know that about him. I didn't
Oh,
know that about him. Only on the surface level, seeing him on some of those BETs and NPRs and things like
yes.
that, but not
Yeah.
like following him to see what wisdom I can glean from him because like you said, he's doing the work. He's doing the work. And what does that mean for us?
Mhm.
Time to call the doctor.
Time to call the doctor.
I'm calling y'all out. You need to find out what is unacceptable in your field that is happening on your campus, in your research, in your field, and you need to do something about it. We cannot sit back and wait for the Justins and the Dr. Boyces and to do. We need to do our part. And so for me,
Absolutely.
in the world of early childhood education, for those of you that don't know, but I think it was the state of Alabama banned the NAEYC text, which is a highly researched, world-renowned text that is well used in the early childhood field because the woke speak. I'm not even going to go there. And the book that they banned talks about how early childhood educators can do more in the areas of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so as a result, the director of early childhood programs at the state level, I think she resigned. Black lady, she resigned. And so now
activism cost, right?
She resigned. She was like, I can't stand for this because they're trying to make diversity, equity, inclusion 4-letter words by saying, oh, it's woke speak now, which is, I'm not even going to get on my platform about that. But NACI is now sending around emails to all its members saying, we need to sign, we need to petition this. And so, so while I'm not in Alabama and I'm not traveling there, I can sign the petition. Absolutely. Because I'm a paying member and say, I don't stand with this either. So there are little things that we can do because we have to wake up. And things are happening that are trying to shift the trajectory into places where we've come from.
And if it can happen in those places, it can also happen in the places where you currently are. Right? Because other places have set the precedent. Right? Are there any other national policies on banning books? Oh, well, let's look at Florida. Yep. Let's look at if it's happening there, it can happen here too. So listen, sorry, I cut you off.
No, that's my call. What is going on in your field that is unacceptable? And you need to find out what it is that you can do about it. And in the world of early childhood, it's saying speaking of racism and teaching kids how to be anti-racist is somehow wrong. And that's the thing. It's like anti-racist education has no place in early childhood, which is crazy because my mother had a 3-year-old student tell her on her second day of Head Start, Miss Tony, I don't like Black teachers and I don't like you. And she was
wow.
3. So to say that we are not, we cannot equip our teachers and our students to be anti-racist in the early childhood field, in the early childhood level, it's a shame. It's and we're talking about the brain being formed in those critical years of development and those synapses forming, and we're forming opinions about people and how we're going to treat people from birth to 5. And you're saying we can't equip teachers with diversity, equity, and inclusion because that's somehow wrong. So now we're going to ban research-based textbooks that equip early childhood educators to be diverse, to be equitable, to be inclusive, to make sure people belong. And we banning that? It's crazy.
It's crazy. It is crazy to me. It is crazy to me. Yeah. I'm you were talking and I just thought about shouting out somebody who's doing this work. I talked to her today, Dr. Kathy Purnell.
Yeah.
Her dissertation was on the fact that, in essence, we need to do more. Many of us say that we are equipped to lead the charge, but we've never done our own work. We've never taken a class. We've never read a book. We've never written a book. We've never published an article. We've never done any research, right? But we're equipped to lead. No. Do your own work so that you can be an activist from a place of knowledge and preparation, right? 100%. It's important. It is. So whatever the platform is that you want to address, we're talking about DEI, which we talk about often because that's who we are. But whatever is missing or needs to be addressed in your field, take the time to do the research so you can advocate from a place of preparation, right? But we need you to advocate. We need you. We need you. We need you. We're talking about legacy building. Harry Belafonte was a legacy builder who did not mind using whatever platform he had to
Mhm.
be an advocate. Did not mind. So
Okay.
we want you to advocate. Thank you, Dietrich Betts, for putting Dr. Eric Betts. We might actually have him on the show one
Woo-woo.
evening.
Yes.
Thank you for mentioning him. Absolutely. He's doing some amazing work too. I think he just published a book, another book.
Mm.
So, yeah, we might need to get him on the show. So, yeah, so advocate. At be an advocate, be an advocate, be an advocate. It's a way of creating a legacy. Let's move on, Dot O, because you know we can talk
Yes,
for
we can.
this is our soapbox.
Listen, and we already
Um,
overtime, so let's do it.
we overtime every week. This is
Every week.
every week. Okay, I would say we're gonna work on it, but we probably won't.
We
Here
probably
we go. So, doctor's orders. Our doctor's orders segment is a segment that I share some thoughts, some hopefully practical considerations for those of you who are in the doctoral process, who are doing the doctorate, who are trying to make a difference in the world, those who have doctorates. This is the practical piece that I want to share with you. I'm a teacher at heart, so here we go. When we're talking about building a legacy, and I was giving some thought to this today, like how do we do it? How do we make sure that we are in line with our purpose, our call to be legacy builders? And there are three things that I want you to remember. Last week I gave you 10. Some folks said that was a lot, so I'm gonna break it down to three. Get, as I always say, get your notes out. Let's go. Get your notes out. So I believe that we are here because we are called to make a difference in the world. We have gifts and talents that need to be used in the world to make it a better place. We are here because we are supposed to be leaving a legacy. We're supposed to be leaving the world in a better place than how we found it. And so, in this realm of research and doctoral work, there are three things that I want you to remember as it relates to legacy building. And the first is, hopefully you've heard this before. It's in my book, one of my books, Degree of Persistence. I talk about remembering your why. Your why is that underlying reason for you doing what you're doing, and it must go beyond I like to be called doctor. There's nothing wrong with being called doctor. It brings you a level of something, right? Respect, if nothing else. People hear your doctoral title and they conjure up all types of visions of who you are, but your why must go deeper than that. Remember your why. Your why is the motivation that's going to keep you consistent when your feelings and your emotions don't. When you're tired and you feel like quitting, and that's gonna happen
multiple
more
times.
than once. Remember your why. Your why is going to keep you consistent and motivated. Then remember your who. Who are you hoping to impact by your work? Who are you hoping to impact by your work? I talked to a former undergrad student who actually I had the privilege of serving on her doctoral dissertation recently. She's now doctor. And she said, it's because you impacted my life as an undergraduate student that I even thought about getting a doctoral degree, that I'm even making an impact in the world in this area of domestic violence. Her research is in the area of domestic violence. She is the who that I was trying to touch. As an undergrad professor, who are you trying to make a difference for and with, right? By your research. I also want you to remember the who that called you to this work. And that who is bigger and better
Yeah.
than you and I,
Yeah.
right? The creator called you to this space to touch some folk. So remember those, remember your who, those who you will help through your research, your title, your position, wherever you end up as a doctoral person. Remember your who, and that someone else called you. And then remember your you.
Mm-hmm.
Remember your you.
That's good.
I have to remind myself
That's
something.
that's really, really good.
Listen, I fall off my list.
That's
Off.
good. That's good.
I fall off my list. And I have to remember me. Remember you.
Wow.
I talked last few weeks about self-care, right?
Yeah.
I'm not doing that well. I'm gonna sleep well tonight. But
Yeah.
remember your you. You are worthy of being on your list. You are worthy of overcoming your fears, your challenges. You are worthy of fighting all of the insecurities head on. Why? Because you are fearfully and wonderfully made.
Yes.
If Dr. Boyce Watkins can overcome some of his educational challenges and I can overcome some of my educational challenges, you can too.
So good.
You are fearfully and wonderfully made despite all of the other mess that may happen in your life.
That's good.
You are fearfully and wonderfully made, created for such a time as this to be an advocate for someone else.
Wow.
Right? So remember your you. And remember that it's really not about you.
Mm,
You are being used because someone needs to see you so that they can make a difference in the world as well.
that's
You're
good.
making a difference in their life and they're making a difference in someone else's life. So remember you. You are fearfully and wonderfully made, but it's really not about you. It's about the work that you do. Remember your why, remember your who, and remember your you. And I believe that those are the foundational steps of
Wow.
building a legacy because it's not about you. It is about you doing the work for other folk. Doctor's orders. That's it.
Whew.
That's it.
Some of us are still stuck on remembering our why.
Yeah, well, it can get a little lost sometimes.
That was so good. I mean, I really resonate with the last one
Remember
because
you.
we are a conduit through which our research flows.
Yes.
But if the conduit is malfunctioning, then
Mm,
the research can't flow. And so
absolutely.
if we don't take care of the conduit, the thing that is doing the work, the thing that is advocating, then the change that needs to happen through our activism is not gonna work. And so I think sometimes we focus a lot on the why, we focus a lot on the who, and we got our why down, we got our who down, but we don't do the things necessary to remember us. Like
Yes.
that yes, it's not about me, but if I don't do the work, then who's gonna do it?
If
And
I'm
so
not a healthy vessel, right?
that part,
I am fearfully and wonderfully
that part,
made, but if I'm rusty, that I'm going to pour out rusty
right.
stuff.
Yep,
My research, my work, my art,
yep,
it's not going to be what it
yep.
should be to impact the other folk that I'm called to
And
do the work.
it won't impact, it won't be impactful.
It won't be impactful.
It won't be.
Yeah.
And you won't build a legacy.
Yeah. And absolutely.
So
So remember your you.
it's heavy, but it's, I mean, wow. And what can you just, okay, I know we are so over time.
Always, every week, all the
Give me
time.
one practical thing I can do this week to remember me.
So it goes back to self-care, right? To some degree. And
Mhm.
I'll tell you two things that came to mind. For me, drinking more water. I mean,
Ooh.
that's so it's right here. It's right here. It's right here. Yep, drinking more water.
Drink water.
But the other thing, and gosh, so man, therapy is your friend,
Ooh.
and not necessarily for you. I'm not saying you need it, but here's the reality. In a list of 10 of the top stressors for doctoral students, mental health and stress is one, I think it's number 3 or 4 on the list.
Wow.
It is a lonely process. So you need someone to walk through it with you. And some folk run from the whole idea of talking to someone and getting help. Get professional help. You need a support network. That's in the book too. You need a support network, right? Oh, you do well. You are 75 hard, strong. I'm like, man, if I yeah.
No, but you said you hit on something, the therapy.
Mm,
And I know for me, I had a therapist pretty much my whole journey, that whole 12 years. I utilized the university's therapy program because I didn't have the money to afford a therapist, but it was
yep,
free. And
yep.
so through the university,
And we like free.
and we do. And through the university, I was able to get counseling and therapy sessions throughout the program. And I needed it. Like, I especially needed it when things were getting rejected, or
Mhm.
when I had like, literally, I felt like, you're not smart enough. Why are you in this program? You're not smart enough. You're really actually dumb. So why are you
Yep,
doing
I've
this?
heard people. Yep.
Yeah, and so you need to be able to talk that out with someone, because you can't just swallow that, because when the red marks come and when the comments come and the feedback comes, if you internalize that as, I'm
Yes,
not smart, I'm not
yes.
worthy, then it's easy just to quit and give up. So yes, it is okay to ask for and get help. And
Please.
please, thank you, future Dr. Thomas. And so
Yes.
I think you hit the nail on the head when you said the therapy. And so maybe it wasn't for me. I know the drink water was for me. That was for me. I need to do that. That's why it's right here.
Listen,
But
yeah,
the
I didn't even
therapy,
I didn't think my cup was gonna be on
listen,
screen, so I didn't bring my pretty one, but
but the therapy, for those of you that are in the program, those of you that are going through the program, and if you don't have the money, check out your university. They have counseling
it's
services
great.
that students can use, because
It's
you need
great.
it. Because the negative thoughts, like, if you don't flush those out, they will stop you. Yeah, and it is go. Thank you, Imani. So
Thank
it's
you, Imani.
gold.
Hey, Imani,
It's,
listen, imposter syndrome is
it's
real,
so real.
real.
Like, who are you? Like, you think you're gonna be a doctor? Like,
Listen,
you you barely got.
you couldn't even write one sentence without getting a red mark on your paper from your yeah. So talk to somebody.
It's
Talk to
good. It's
somebody.
good.
You know,
Yeah.
and there are groups
Yes.
that are out there. We have the PhD consultants has a Facebook group
Mhm.
where people come and they work we work with and we support, and I'm always in everybody else's group trying to offer support because I need you to be the best you for the world.
For the world. Yep.
So if my presence or comments in a group provide some kind of support for you to be your best doctoral you, so be it, because the world needs you,
Yep.
right? So that's put you on your list.
Yes. So good.
Put
Remember
yourself on
you're
your
you.
list. So
Remember you're you.
listen, remember you're you. I need to
Woo.
put that on a shirt. Remember,
You.
every week I'm walking away with, that's a shirt.
That is
I
a
need to
shirt.
put that. Anybody make shirts out there? Yeah. I have some ideas. Anyway, so yeah, those are the doctor's orders,
Yeah.
right? Those are the doctor's orders. Doc, we're
It's,
over again.
we're over.
We maybe
We're over.
I know the producers in the background saying, y'all talk too much. Look at him. Look at him back there. Y'all talk too much. He's laughing. You all don't see him, but he's laughing. He's like, oh, I can't
He's
control
like,
these
what?
doctor
I just.
women. Anyway, Doc, we're on our way out. House calls. House calls. Who you visiting? Where you going this week? What you doing? What you
Well, so
doing?
I just got back from the Smart Start conference, which was amazing. It was in Greensboro. Shout out to everyone who was there. We had a fabulous session. My mom actually came with me, so I was really excited about that.
Nice.
And this week, I am going to the Maryland State Child Care Association conference in Ocean City, Maryland. So on the beach, I'm super excited. So that's where I'll
You
be
need, you
this
need me
week.
to be in your luggage.
That's hey, and the hotel is really nice.
Let,
So,
let, we can talk offline. Let me know what time you're leaving.
Ocean City, here I come. Beach weekend, beach weekend. So I'm excited. So that's where I'll be this
Nice.
weekend. So we leave
Nice.
We leave Friday. I speak Saturday morning and Saturday evening, and then we come back Sunday. So
That's
just in
awesome.
time for doing the doctorate.
For us. Listen,
Yep.
oh, I need to figure out next week. I need to figure out
Yeah,
next week
yeah, come on.
because next Sunday, I am doing a demystifying the doctorate once a
Yes.
quarter. I do something free. I'm always doing stuff for free. But my goal is to help people. So I'm doing a demystifying the doctorate session. We're talking about how to succeed in your doctoral program and how to go for free. So, whoops, notification. So it's going to be face to face. It's the first face to face session that I've done in so long. It's going to be Washington D.C. In Washington D.C. at Capitol Hill Church. Email. People ask, how do you register? I've posted it, but email education@capitolhillchurch.org. Education@capitolhillchurch.org. And listen, it's free information. I just want to share as much as I can. So that's going to be next Sunday. Last week, I talked about a grant I'm working on. It is being submitted tomorrow. So I'm excited about that. And then maybe I can follow my own advice and put me on my list.
Yes, please,
Put
ma'am,
me on my list. It's a
ma'am.
busy time, but it's a great time. It's a great time. So, oh, anything else? Did I miss anything?
No,
We're good?
no, we're
As
good.
we stay in church, all hearts and minds
All
clear.
right. Let
All
us
hearts and minds
let us
clear.
stand.
Oh man, what an honor it is to be a legend builder, to leave a legacy. That's really the goal, right? You just want to leave the world better than how you found it. And I'm thankful for Harry Belafonte for planting the seed to talk about legacy building. I want to remind you before we leave what we say every week, the doctoral degree. It is not merely a degree of intelligence. It is a degree of persistence. And we are here to help you persist. Why? Because your research matters. Your research matters. Thanks much, everybody. Hope you could pull something from today's show. We'll see you next Sunday. Have a great week. Thanks. Oh, love you, mom and dad. Talk to y'all soon.
Soon.
Peace.